you from Hideaway Homestead. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about how we got our house and how we planned this whole homestead thing and how it got started and what we did and all that sort of thing. So
it's sort of an accidental process that just developed along the way. A lot of people who are homesteading set out to be homesteaders. They set out to buy property. They had all kinds of plans and all kinds of research, and we just sort of slid into it, I suppose. But it was a God thing all the way, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. We look back on some of the things that happened along the way when we were trying to get started and how things fell into place, and just, some of the stuff really wasn't planned or anything like that. It just happened for us, and that was kind of neat. So
I think it started when we were camping at a state campground nearby. And we had gone there a couple of times with friends and tent camped for several times, and we liked that. We liked getting out into nature and just enjoying the wilderness, so to speak, around fairly close to our home. And one time when we were camping out there, we saw some property for sale as we were running to the convenience store, and made us think it would be really cool if we had our own piece of land that was convenient to home, but that we could go to any time, not have to worry about whether the campground was full and having to pay and all that kind of thing. It would be really nice if we had our own piece of property. Maybe sometime we could grow some crops and have a little garden and have a place that we could just get away.
Yeah. It was neat because at the time, your sister was selling real estate.
Yeah.
And so we asked her, we said, hey, check around and see if there's any property for sale out in this area, because we like this area. And she checked on it and found several places, and we came out and looked at them. And a couple of them just weren't really what we were looking for.
No, not at all.
We kind of had in mind what we were looking for. We wanted it to be out in the woods, not on a main road.
Right.
Sort of out away from everything.
Some trees, but not tree-filled that you couldn't plant any crops or something like that. We wanted to have a garden.
Yep. Didn't want to have neighbors right next door to us or anything like that. So that was one of the things we were looking for. And then we came across this one.
Yeah, and we really liked it. It already had 2 wells dug and already had a septic tank in place. There had been a fire through here, and the mobile home that was on this property originally had been destroyed in that fire. And so all of this infrastructure, if you can call it that, was already in place. And that was a big selling factor. That would have saved us a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Except the price tag was way beyond what we were looking for. I mean, we'd have to camp a lot of times at the state campground before we could ever justify paying off for that. The prices they were asking for it then.
Sure. Yeah.
It was reasonable for what prices are going for, or land is going for, but we couldn't swing it.
Yeah. So we just sort of kind of tabled the idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And just forgot about it. And then we waited for almost exactly a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, just
about a year later. I was talking to Carol at lunchtime one day on the phone, and she said, I wonder if that property's still for sale over there. And I said, well, I don't know. Call your sister and ask her. So she did. She called her sister, and she said, yes, it's still on the market, but
the price had been reduced.
The price had been dropped.
Yeah. About a third. I guess it had come down, but it was still on the market. So we decided we would make just a ridiculously low offer, to the point of almost being offensive. I mean, we've bought and sold real estate before, and when people make that low of an offer, it's really offensive sometimes. But what did it matter? And we said if God wanted us to have this, then He would work it out. And they responded, counteroffered within a day or two. I mean, it was almost instant that they came back to us. And we countered their offer and ended up getting it for a third of what it was listed for a year before. So we were very excited about that.
Yeah, it was neat. It was neat how the Lord worked that out for us.
Yeah. And we just felt like it was God's working in that situation. That was his leading and his opening doors, because we were trying not to push things, not to force something that we would be sorry about later, and we were determined we were not going to put anything up here that would put us in debt. So that made a difference on what we could do.
Right.
But in the meantime, we found on Craigslist a little pop-up camper.
Oh, yeah.
And we bought that pop-up camper, and it came with all kinds of good stuff in it. We already had the tents and some of the equipment to camp. But this pop-up camper, it was loaded with all kinds of things. So we could pull that out here on weekends and set it up in very little time, and be out here on our own and just camp and enjoy the quiet, away from the city and the dark at night. And
you can actually see the stars.
Yeah.
It's so neat how many stars we can see out here. We can't see at home because we're in the city limits, but yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, so we did that pop-up for quite a while.
Yeah.
And started to get a little bit not so excited about it, because when it started to rain more often, then if that pop-up got wet, we had to take it home and make sure it was completely dry before we folded anything up, because we didn't want it to get mildewy and musty and all of that, because it seems like once you get that into something and get it too wet and put it away wet, then it just doesn't last well, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah. So we got rid of that. We sold that, and then Carol found I think on Craigslist again, wasn't it? A motorhome that was for sale.
It was ancient. It was ancient.
Yeah.
And not in perfect shape.
Nope.
But we only wanted it to come out here. We were going to bring it out here, park it, and just use that. That way we didn't have to set it up, take it down. Everything could stay in place and be a little bit more secure out here.
Yeah.
So.
And we wanted to get power.
Yeah.
So that we could have some power out here when we had our motorhome here, but for whatever reason the county wouldn't give us power. They told us we had to have a permit, and to get a permit we had to be building something. So that's how we started planning on building a house. And so
you called it just the right time.
Yeah, that's right.
To talk to the county about that.
That's right. And they were going to give us the permit, but they said that there was going to be a huge impact fee.
It was $4,000 or $5,000.
$4,000 impact fee we were going to have to pay, and because there was a mobile home here before, if we put another mobile home here, we'd have to pay that. I think is how it went. Anyway, so
it's been empty too long, and so now it went to a new cycle, and it had to start all over again.
Right. So she told me, she said, if you get the permit started now, you won't have to pay the impact fee if you're going to build a house. So we decided we would build a house.
So then came the process of trying to find plans for something very small that we would not have to go into debt to do. We looked at log cabin kits, and they are so wonderful and so nice, and it would all be there and ready to go, and we could probably do it ourselves. And then there were prefab kits, and there's always we couldn't put a mobile home on here anymore. It would have to be site built. But we looked at those other things, but we would definitely have to go into debt to buy a completed kit.
Right.
So what we decided to do is build as we go, to pay as we go. Along the way.
Yep. And we did, and we built it ourselves. The
Yep.
two of us built this place, and it's been nice.
Yeah.
It turned out nice.
The two things that we did not do, and we're so glad that we didn't do them ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't do the foundation, and we had a wonderful man that actually
did the concrete work.
Yeah, they did the concrete work and the foundation pouring, and this place is so level, and he did such a wonderful job. He was referred to us by the engineer that had signed off on the plans. A really nice man locally here, and so he referred Calvin to us, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
And then we had the roof done because we wanted a metal roof out here with the fire in the history of the property. We didn't want any more fires affecting what we built. So.
Yeah, we have a state forest close to us, and they had a controlled burn a while back, and that's how the place caught fire several years back. And so we didn't want to go through that.
The controlled burn was not so well controlled, evidently. It got out of hand.
It got out of control.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we put a metal roof on, so if we ever did have another fire out here, it wouldn't set the place on fire from the embers falling on the roof.
And that was a good Christian man from our parents' church in town, and he did a great job with his crew and
set the trusses and put the whole roof on.
Put the roof on.
And from there on, we did the rest of it ourselves. So anyway, it worked out well.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we've been having to deal with the county with permitting and going each little step along the way. Oh, one thing that we didn't mention is where we came up with the plans.
Oh.
I finally found a set of plans, or an idea, I guess a floor plan, you would say, online, and it was a 2-story log cabin build. And our pastor, as a side job, he is an engineer, and so he took that plan and turned this into a single-story house. We thought as we got older, it's just the two of us, we don't need a second floor and be climbing upstairs to get to the master bedroom, so we've tried to find something that was all on one level and that would be small enough for just the two of us. We don't need something huge.
Right.
And so he was able to take that plan, that floor plan, and bring it down to a single level and work all this out. And then the engineer that he works with, got our drawing stamped, and so that's how the plan came together. And it was good for us to look at all the options and what would work for our lifestyle and as we get older, and what we could handle as far as building it just the two of us.
Yeah.
And to pay for it, you have to, we could build something huge, but we have to pay for it. And we kept thinking, if we go fancy, we're not going to be able to pay for this and not get it done in the time we have to finish it.
Yeah, worked out good though. Hi, we'd like to take a break from this video to give a shout out to the Big Family Homestead on YouTube. Watch their channel. They got some good videos and we like watching them.
During the time we were building it, for the most part, we would stay on weekends in the motorhome that was parked here, and then work like crazy all day Saturday, and then go back to town and do our regular stuff during the week, and come back out here on another Saturday. And every once in a while, Kevin would get days that he could come out during the week, and any vacation days we'd come out here. And try to do things, and then just buy what we could along the way for materials and stuff like that.
It's worked out. It's been fun though.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed it. We have enjoyed doing this, and we work well together anyway.
We did. But that's how we came to get this place, and we just really think God worked it out.
Yes, absolutely. Good. I'd like to also encourage you to look back on some of our past videos. We have several videos that we've shot out here on the farm, of the garden and different things that we've done out here. So if you have a chance, go back and look at some of those past videos and leave us comments. If you have any ideas about things on there, leave us ideas too. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, we'd like to give you this opportunity to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner there and give us a thumbs up and leave us comments. We really like for people to leave us comments. If you have questions or anything, leave those for us too, because we like those. So
compare your homesteading stories to, or how you got started and those kinds of things. We always like to hear how other people what their paths have been and how similar or different they are from ours. So.
Anyway, until next time, thanks for joining us here at Hideaway Homestead.